question for you. Did you ever play the old shell game, If you did, you'll know it's an easy way to lose your shirt, and fast. There don't seem to be any chance for you to win. That probably prompted George Urban of Baltimore, Maryland, to write this. Here's his request. Says, Dear Art Baker, I enjoyed your expose of card sharps a few weeks ago, and now I dare you to expose the crooked Carnival concessions. Such an expose may convince many that they cannot beat those controlled devices. Yours truly, George Urban. All right, Mr. Urban, because you asked for it, we'll take you behind the scenes now in the Carnival concession game and show you how they operate. And we are very fortunate in answering your request to have the assistance of a gentleman who was here before on You Asked For It and exposed the card sharps. And he is the Vice President of the Society of American Magicians. I want to present to you before he's in his own business now, exposing dishonesty, Mr. Robert Haskell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt you've all seen a wheel similar to this at the last carnival or fair you attended. Some of them are honest, some of them are not. Last week I was out of town and visited a carnival, and I saw a situation similar to this. All the numbers on the wheel were covered. All the numbers except a small section in here. The two numbers bordering number 116. Well, I'd watched the operator to see just what he would do, and this is what happened. The wheel went around, slowed, and came to a stop on 116, the one number that wasn't covered. How did it happen? Simple. Down here, we have a pedal, or brake, similar to a brake in your automobile. A little pressure on the pedal will slow and stop the wheel. Let's try it again. Let's use the same number, 116. Well, not quite. Let's try it again. And number 116. One of the oldest games is tossing the hoop. It's a simple game. You pay 10 cents, you get 3 hoops, you toss them over a stand. All you have to do is ring the stand, and you win a beautiful Ben Russ 17-jewel watch. Now, you could easily understand that for 10 cents, no man is going to risk losing a valuable piece of merchandise. And yet, the rings go over easily, and there seems to be plenty of room. But watch. I'm tossing the rings from the side, and from the side they can go over. But you're the customer. You toss from the front, we have a different situation. I'm going to turn one of these stands to the side. Now, I'm the customer, and from this angle, because of the slant of the face of the stand, it is impossible to get the ring over it. You cannot toss the ring over the stand. Well, I shouldn't say you cannot. If you could possibly toss the ring so it came right over the stand and then dropped straight down, you might win. Otherwise, you couldn't. Now, sometimes you see a man play the game and you see him win. If you do, you could be certain that the man is a shill who works for the house, brings the prizes back at the end of the day. In order to make it easier for the shill to win, you use another gimmick. By pressing on this bulb, I want you to watch the stand. And you'll notice how the stand tips forward. In that position, it's much easier, it's not too easy, but it's much easier for a skilled thrower to toss a hoop over the stand and win. Once he's done that, the stand is released and the customers go on playing. One of the fairest looking games is the ball and 10-pin. It's a very simple thing. You have a ball suspended by a chain or a string. You toss the ball forward, miss the pin going there, and knock the pin over on the return trip. It's a simple thing. Works as easily as that. Now the customer comes up and he tries it. He throws the ball and he misses. And he throws again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he could throw from now on, and it's impossible to knock the pin down on the backward swing if you miss it going. Now, I say impossible, but you just saw me do it. There's an explanation. As long as the pin is directly underneath the cord in the ball, it's impossible to knock it down. When I did it, the pin was off-center about an inch. In that position, it's easy to knock the pin over. When I set it up on center, and the customer can't do it. One of the most interesting games, or the most played game on the fairway, the midway, is the cigarette shooting gallery. You have an air rifle, you load it with a cork, and you attempt to knock a package of cigarettes off the stand. You have to knock it off the stand and not merely knock it down. Well, it only costs you a dime to play, and it's a lot of fun, so you don't mind losing the dime because that's what you do. Here's the explanation. If you have a package of cigarettes at the front end of the stand, and you hit it, it falls over. It does not fall off. If the package of cigarettes is standing in the center of the stand and you hit it, it falls off and over. Now, if they want you to win, they have the cigarettes placed in the center. If they don't want you to win, it's at the forward part. You know, the corks are very light, and if you were to put a thumbtack in, it would add a lot of weight to it. That would knock the cigarette package off every time, but that's dishonest.
Yeah. Mr. Haskell, just a moment, please, just a moment. I've been studying these thingaroos here. I still don't know how it's done, and I think if you don't mind, would you kind of show all of us just how this thing works,
Well, I'd be glad to, Art. Why don't you come on up and take a look. We have the 3 shells and the pea. The shell is placed over the pea. And as the shell is pushed forward, the pea comes out the back end and is gripped by the thumb and second finger. It goes over to the second shell, pushes it forward, and then back, and is loaded under the second one. Then you move the third one. You show your hands, they bet on the center one, it's gone, and here it is. And Art, that's how it's done.
Well, thank you very much, Robert Haskell, for showing us this, and to letter writer George Urban of Baltimore, we thank you because you asked for it. Now, let me see this next one. Oh, yes.